Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to this evening edition of the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Vulum.
Cody, today was the official opening of the transfer portal, but we have a whole bunch of games to go over. The quarterfinals were on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day yesterday, so we are going to recap that. And boy, what a few days of football it was.
Yep. So we're gonna start our recap of the quarterfinals down in Arlington, Texas, at Jerry World, where it was the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic between the number 10 seeded Miami Hurricanes out of the ACC and the number 2 seeded reigning defending national champions out of the Big Ten, Ohio State Buckeyes. And this game, Miami thoroughly just they dogged walk Ohio State. The final score was a little deceiving, but just throughout the entire game, I mean that first half was all Miami.
Yeah, man, their defense, Miami's defense is nasty, dude. Like it's a different type of nastiness. They play an old school type of ball, bro. They play great elite defense and run the ball. And this sort of reminds me they're sort of going back to their roots, bro. This is exactly how the 2001 Miami team won those games with elite defense, and obviously they had more talent on offense, but like this right here is U football, and they have a chance to get back to what they want to be. They want to be the U again,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a chance now. You,
Yep.
you look at these matchups, in the semis. Obviously, we'll get to that later. But you see Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, Miami, and there was it was an NFL memes thing. I mean, Cody, the fact that basically we have a 75% chance of seeing a first time national champion is the reason why we love this playoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for all the flack that the playoffs have gone and whatever, like this, I think is what you're meant to see, like in the playoffs. And I mean, you talked about 2001 Miami Hurricanes team. This was a rematch of the infamous 2002 national championship game, and a lot of Miami fans, like for 23 years, have been like when they saw they were matched with Ohio State, they're like 23 years of pain and frustration from that. What was it, a non-called pass interference or whatever the case was? Because Miami was
Yes, a
looking to,
non pass interference.
yeah, they were looking to win back-to-back national titles at that point, and for them to be vindicated, like those fans who did see that 2002 national championship, to then 23 years later get like some measure of revenge, that had to have felt really good for the Miami fan, like the Hurricanes and their fans. So, I mean, I for all the memes that Miami has gotten over the years of being chokers, not even making their conference title game, they do have a chance to win a national title. And Mario Cristobal he's been great. Like he's been great in Miami. Like he's done a really good job down in Miami, Florida. And I think one thing I want to see next from Miami is maybe like continue like to win that South Florida, like because that's one of the things that helped Miami in the '80s was recruiting guys like local. Like you had the whole state of Miami. This just reminds me of the time I was watching the 30 for 30 on the Miami Hurricanes, both parts, which were really cool. And boy, the memes like I had ready to go for like this like for Miami after the beat Ohio State. It's one thing to have to see Michael Irvin, uh, with the belt to ass.
Yes.
That was
Oh
funny.
man.
But the anthem now, like I mean, if you watched the U Part Two, the 30 for 30, you should know about the Seventh Floor Crew, and that's been the anthem, uh, meme wise for me the last like couple of weeks, and I hope just for the purity of it that I can just play that when Miami wins the national championship, just for those memes alone.
That would be insane, bro. And the U would officially be back if that happens. But
Mm-hmm.
we have other games that we have to talk about. Obviously, yesterday or not yes no, that was on New Year's Eve. New
Yep.
Year's Day, the game that basically started the whole day, the Capital One Orange Bowl where Miami plays. Oregon blanks Texas Tech 23 to nothing.
Yep. The main story of this was just the inability of the Texas Tech offense to really put points on the board and move the football, especially the play of Baron Morton. This was by all definitions just really one of the worst games I've seen out of like that offense. And I mean, I think a lot of Big 12 fans talk about like Baron Morton and his ability. Could he really lead his team deep? And a lot of people did not have faith in Baron Morton to lead that Texas Tech offense. And I think a lot of people thought that if Texas Tech was going to win this game, it would have to be the elite defense continuing to be that elite defense, but you also need some you needed enough from your offense, and you just didn't get it in. Whether it was like obviously the play of Baron Moore throwing two picks, especially a crucial one in the end zone, or the offensive play calling, which was questionable at best,
Yeah.
mind-numbingly stupid at the worst.
Yeah, man. I mean, they were so limited in the pass game. I didn't understand the play calls, dude, because it just seemed like every single time that Texas Tech got off the field, they were just right back on there because I don't know what their old OC was calling. They were just calling these short passes, screen passes. I'm like, you're not even trying to throw the ball vertical. And then when you did, it got intercepted. So I mean, it was just a total mess. And now just the whole like perception of the Big 12 now is just absolutely been ruined. I know, like, sometimes it's like, well, you shouldn't base it off of one team. I'm like, well, yeah, but like when you only have one bid and we're trying to try to keep up, basically keeping up with the Joneses with the Big 12 or the Big 10 and the SEC. This is not a good showing. Not to mention that Oregon is like the third best team in the Big 10.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are gonna look at it like on the box score and just see, wow, the third best Big Ten team really beat the Big 12's best. Why does the Big 12 even have a bid? They make the big
Yes.
people like made memes and like troll to say like the jokes of, oh, the Big 12 is a G5 league. Well, now with this showing, no matter what any Big 12 fan says, like, and if it being legit, like of like actually having legitimate chances, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt because of this performance. And I don't think people bring it up as, oh yeah, the Big 12's performance in like the playoffs. Outside of TCU's win against Michigan, they've all been blanked, and I mean that includes Oklahoma's like putrid record in the playoffs, in the 14 playoffs back when they were in the Big 12. They went 0-4 during their time
The
in
only
the Big 12.
yeah, and the only thing, let me, if I could add, the only thing that's going to be bogus is because everybody is going to forget about Arizona State's amazing run last year, to where if they would have just stopped Texas on that 4th and 13, they would have been in the
Hmm.
round. So basically, it just sort of just went to crap because of this showing.
Yeah, and it's this also like this just the thing was Texas Tech spent 40 to 50 million dollars on this roster. So they certainly have the money to do it, but they didn't really invest on like a solid enough QB. They thought they could go in house, and clearly it didn't work. So that's one thing they got to do. Like they have to obviously reload because if we're banking on Texas Tech being the premier of the Big 12 along with BYU and Utah, you got to start winning these games at some point. You got to start winning these
Yes.
playoff games when you get the shot. And now people are like, somebody like said, like I think this is Oregon fans, and fair enough. They said that I think some people were saying that JMU and Tulane put up a better fight in the playoffs. And JMU put up a better fight than Texas Tech did,
They did,
and
because they did.
that's
They
true.
did.
And granted, at halftime it was 34-6, so the score is a bit deceiving if you actually watch the game. But at least JMU did something in the second half. Texas Tech did absolutely nothing, and that's just the thing that irks me the most is the fact that Tech. The thing was that was like a one possession game for like what most of the entire like
It
most
was
of the game,
six, dude. It was 6-0 at halftime.
and Tech got the ball to start where you needed to do something, and they did absolutely nothing with it. So just just outright embarrassing. Like this is just outright embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, things are gonna have to change, and change quick for the Big 12. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep getting left out, and we'll have no one but ourselves to blame.
Yep.
Now, I mean, Cody, you want to talk about belt to ass? Indiana in the Rose Bowl. I like I'd never thought that I would see the day that Alabama just they got the brakes beat off of them, bro.
Yep.
Indiana
Yep.
wins over Alabama 38-3. Yes, guys, you're seeing that right. 38-3. Not to mention, Indiana is historically one of the worst football programs in college football history, up there with Iowa State.
Like,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
and they're
Us.
historically worse than Iowa State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I went from like watching something terrible, the Big 12 crapping its own pants and putting it in their hands and throwing it on the board, to watching Indiana absolutely beat the brakes off of Alabama, and I was so happy. Like, I'm like, my day's
Oh,
been
it
cured
was
instantly.
satisfying.
It was so satisfying because a lot of like, dude, there was like a couple days. I think somebody in a press conference asked Kurt Signetti about like playing a team prestige, like with the prestige of Alabama, and Kurt Signetti, to paraphrase, said something along the lines of, these players, they don't know about this prestige. All they know is the team that they see on film, and it clearly showed. So Kurt Signetti has just turned this Indiana team into a team that can actually win the national title, and now it looks like they could actually do it because the path is wide open for them. But man, from start to finish, like the first drive, Alabama gets 2 sacks on Fernando Mendoza, and then from there it was all Indiana. Alabama had a drive. Ty Simpson, he runs for the first down. Instead of sliding, he tries to gain more yards. He gets hit, and the ball is punched out, and Indiana jumps all over it, and they get a touchdown, I Bleav, off of it. And they never look back. And even in the fourth quarter, when like the game was clearly out of hand, they still showed no mercy. To quote the Karate Kid, the old one, the one in the
Mm-hmm.
'80s, not the one in 2010.
Right, right, right.
But this was vindication for me. Like, it was so fun to watch Indiana beat the crap out of Alabama, and now this is just shown like the SEC. They may not be that super conference they claim themselves to be, because they just saw their, if we're gonna play the whole like, oh, Big 12 best, this was your SEC runner up in Alabama, getting their asses stomped on all like for 4 quarters.
It's it, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, there is a legit question. Is the run of the SEC dominance over? Like, I mean, obviously we still have Ole Miss, so we can't say that yet. But like, I mean, you see, with in this age of NIL, you can't stockpile talent at like places like Georgia or LSU or Bama anymore, because I mean, with as much people that complain about NIL, NIL has evened the playing field. Like now, if your school basically has rich alum and you put money into a football program, like a place like Indiana, like Indiana has tons of rich alumni. They have Mark Cuban,
Mm-hmm.
who is a billionaire and obviously the owner of the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Like, and then they just with the business school that they have, I mean, you got to think, man. Like this Indiana, like it's not just a cute story. This could definitely be like if Indiana wins a national championship in football, they might single-handedly turn themselves into a football school in a basketball happy state, which is I I think I'm just speechless.
Mm-hmm.
Speechless.
And who knows? Maybe that football money can help Indiana get back to that status as an elite basketball school. Who knows? Maybe you can get some of the money going through. Have to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, somewhere 30 years down the line, we're probably Indiana wins the national title. You're gonna have a 30 for 30, like something. You're gonna have a documentary on this Indiana Hoosiers team. 25, 30 years down the line, and who knows? Maybe they remake the Hoosiers movie, in light of like this 2 year turnaround for the Hoosiers.
What if I told you that a team from Indiana, not named Notre Dame, won a national championship?
The Indiana fans are gonna give the crap. And the speaking of Notre Dame, it's funny like how this somehow has like pissed off the panties of Notre Dame fans, because boy oh boy, they were talking about like, oh no, this is what Notre Dame should have been in, and I'm like, oh boy, listen, Notre Dame. With all due respect, your schedule isn't exactly the strongest. We want to play this game. There's a lot of things that went into it, and you did play two teams that were in the playoff, and you lost to both of them. You beat one of them, because the thing is, you only lost to them by a combined, what, 3 points? You beat either of
Hmm.
them, you're in the playoff. That's all you had to do. and you beat up like Notre Dame's schedule. Like the toughest team I remember seeing on there was like what USC, who
USC
was
probably.
yeah, and USC is like a what just a middle of the like USC's a middle of the road Big Ten team. I mean, give them the credit.
Yes.
They beat the crap out of all the teams they play against, but still, your resume consisting of Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford, like as your wins. I, ah,
Right.
I'm not moved.
Yeah. But yes, we will talk about these next week. But Oregon, we have a rematch. This is going to be Oregon and Indiana are going to be playing in the Peach Bowl, and obviously the in the Fiesta Bowl, Ole Miss Miami. We're going to talk about save the best game for last. I was tired, so I didn't get to see this game. But the highlights, man, what a game! Ole Miss gets the best of Georgia. They were up by double digits again. Georgia came back again. I'm like, oh no, please don't let. I'm like, it's gonna happen to Ole Miss again. Nope. Ole Miss had a huge. What's the
Trinidad.
Trinidad Chambliss
Oh,
throws a beautiful ball down the middle of the field, and they get in the right in the field goal range, and they kick a I believe it was like a 40 something yard field
yeah.
goal.
Hmm.
As time expires, this score is not correct, but Ole Miss wins on a game-winning field goal, 37-34. The most impressive thing about this is that they're doing this without their head coach.
I think that's. I mean, that safety is probably good for people who probably bet like Ole Miss like 4.5 or something. So if you had the beat for Ole Miss like 4.5 or something like that, then yeah, you got your money. So you can thank the officials for that. I mean, so that ending was ridiculous. I'm like, are you serious? Like the game was so good, and then you have to like do all this review stuff. Those poor stage crew people having to move the stage on the field, then off the field, then on the field, then off the field again. They were they were cooked by the end of it. And yeah, you mentioned Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss. That was a perfect pass right behind the defense. That was just a simple
Hmm.
go route from what it looked like, and the receiver just gets behind the defender. So I mean, Trinidad Chambliss literally turned into Tom Brady on that drive, and I mean, this is honestly Lane Kiffin is probably somewhere like in Baton Rouge. I mean, speaking of Lane Kiffin, I think he was at the LSU women's basketball game while this game was going on in New Orleans. And real quick, LSU women's ball, they lost to Kentucky, and so they're no longer undefeated. So there's only like 7 remaining undefeated women's basketball teams. But yeah, the memes of like somewhere Lane Kiffin probably like chucked something at like the TV screen. He's like, God, why did I leave, bro?
Exactly. I don't know why he left.
But yeah, I mean, Golding for that, yeah, great. He's done great, like to step up in this role in Ole Miss. Oh, this is fun. This is refreshing. Like, I know SEC, I can't like I think more of my hatred for Ole Miss was more of like Lane Kiffin. I more hated Lane Kiffin,
Hmm.
but seeing like this Ole Miss team doing it without Lane Kiffin, it feels refreshing. It's fun. Like this is a fun Ole Miss team to watch.
It's yeah, and now it sets up for a great semifinals, Cody. We have Oregon, like we said, this is a rematch from I think in October,
Hmm.
where Indiana bested Oregon at Outson
Yep.
30-20, and Ole Miss and Miami, a high powered offense against a elite defense. We'll have to see who wins in this one, but man, I just know that it's really going to come and we're really going to have an exciting national championship game no matter who we get.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is like college football fans. Like we're gonna feast on this, and this will just be like absolute beauty. That rematch of Oregon Indiana is gonna. I'm tuning in for that for sure. That has to be fun to watch. But I'm curious about the Ole Miss Miami matchup because just like yeah, the contrasting styles and like kind of how both teams got there. Yeah, I mean the Fiesta Bowl. Want to do a little bit of history. Miami's most like I think the last time they played in the Fiesta Bowl was what was it when they wore those infamous cargos or whatever against Penn State.
Yes.
The infamous that was so infamous and man, So maybe a little vindication there for any older Miami fans who remember that as a kid.
Oh yeah, dude. It's going to be. It's really going to be interesting, man. To see how these stories play out. All
Yep.
right, Cody. I mean, we that was a really really great talk about the playoff, but obviously you know what today is. We are gonna do talk about the transfer portal.
I mean, literally right after the Sugar Bowl, everybody, at least in the Iowa State realm, was waiting for that January 2nd to hit, that 12:01 a.m. to hit, because like as soon as that hit, we were, I think a lot of Iowa State fans, we've been like the last like 24 hours or so been just waiting to see who's gonna come to Iowa State.
All right, so there were a couple of guys that I retweeted starting from this morning. We're
Mm.
gonna start all the way from down here, um, and we can talk about that. All right, so and we also got a commitment this morning as well, but I'm
Nice.
gonna start all the way down here. Okay, so we have so the first guy I think I found this way back this morning. This is reported by Matt Zenitz from I think from Yahoo. Tarleton State transfer offensive lineman and FCS freshman All American Braden Smith. He has uh, a visit with the Cyclones coming up on Monday through Wednesday. After this upcoming weekend, where he has a visit with Rutgers today and tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. Coming out of Tarleton State, and Tarleton State in the FCS, they were the UAC co-champion, and they did lose in the. They made the tournament, but lost in the quarterfinal to Villanova. But Tarleton State is usually known as like a really good, like a really solid FCS squad. Yeah, winning their first United Athletic Conference. Still looking for that first like national championship. Yeah, Tarleton State with a pretty good run in the year. They finished number 5 in the FCS with a 12-2 record under Todd Witham, their head coach, and they were right there. Abilene Christian 7-1, but made the playoffs over them. Then looking through their schedule, their only loss on the year was to Abilene Christian by 3 points in their conference, but they did sweep their non-con. They were one of the teams. They were the team that beat Army in the double overtime early in the year, 30-27, and also be taking care of a couple other FBS schools. Chattanooga, I think, was one of them, or Central Arkansas. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, that's FCS. But yeah, Tarleton State had a pretty solid run. But I do like that. This like potential look. You said he was an lineman, defensive or offensive.
Yeah, no, he was an offensive lineman. I was just going to the next guy. Definitely a guy who he can be a cog on that offensive line for Jake Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out. I believe there were some other Auburn offensive linemen, so watch out for them coming into the portal. So I know there are some guys that are going to be visiting. I think this weekend. But Blake Hawkins. From Iowa Western Community College. He got an offer today from Iowa State. It just and I think just for Jimmy Rogers, it's definitely going to be key to uh, re strengthen that pipeline with state of Iowa kids, especially at the JUCO level and in high school, with us basically working for a decade to rebuild those relationships. It's going to be hard to get to back where it was with Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, who knows? Like, you take a chance on a JUCO guy, he could turn out to be a really good like a good FBS player. Sometimes you just got to give him that shot. So, and out of Iowa
Definitely.
Western, I wasn't able to really watch too much Iowa Western. Like, I know I'm a sicko, but I'm not that much of a sicko. Like, I mean, the nearest JUCO to me is Grandview up the road. Um, but yeah, I wasn't really. I really wish I could. Maybe that's something I do, like somehow, some way. I just start watching JUCO football because screw it.
I mean, the only JUCO football I watched was Last Chance U,
Mm.
and obviously, we had a guy from Last Chance U, what's his name, James Neal, the
Mm-hmm.
lineman. So
Ah. All right. Yeah. So we did actually receive a flip from Washington State. Another one. Amiri Barnes, 5'10" corner or 5'11" corner out of Katy, Texas, was rated 3 stars. So he's another one of those guys who originally committed to Washington State, but is going to be staying with Jimmy Rogers. He heads over to Ames, Iowa. So really nice to see that we're doing what we can to kind of patch up the secondary after number one, the amount of guys in the secondary leaving, and number two, the injuries that they suffered. So nice to see that we're attacking that.
yes, I'm very, very excited for this guy. I think he's definitely going to be a player. And also, Damir Minka. Damir Minka, he is a guy, a D2 guy from Shepherd University, 6'2", 187, has very, very good size. Has 2 years of eligibility, so we'll be able to have him for a bit. I think he'd definitely be a fit on this on this defense.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like
Let's see, and then we
also got Toledo safety Braden Owls will visit Indiana tomorrow, and then Iowa State. 9 interceptions during his career in Toledo. So probably coming over with Ross Watson, who was like on the defensive staff at Iowa State. The Indiana visit will be something to look out for because obviously Indiana being in the
ugh,
playoffs, that might influence him quite a
yeah,
bit. But
that is
that's tough. Like I can't
that's
believe the
tough.
fact that Indiana and Iowa State are competing for recruits. Who would have said that 5 years ago?
I would have said you were crazy, man.
Yeah, but here we are. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he wants to stay with his kids, the guy who he's been under for at least a year. So we'll have to look out for that one. But out of the MAC, and then that's kind of crazy how like even with Campbell leaving, you still somehow, some way find a way to still have a Toledo to Iowa State bridge.
I'm telling you, and I Bleav there's a Mount Union connection somehow, somewhere too. So
I think because I think was it Ross Watson played at
yeah, he played at Mount
ah
Union. I was like, I swear, dude.
dude, this triangle is gonna just happen somehow, some way.
I swear, dude. And then Montrez Smith, he's a 6 foot linebacker, and he's just coming from Austin P. Um,
Yeah,
so
freshman linebacker, so
yeah,
would have a lot of years ahead of him, and it'd be kind of nice to supplement with Rylan Barnes and Bo Goodwin.
you need sorry guys, you need key pieces in your linebacker room. That'd be huge.
Hmm.
Let's see. We also have Dane Arnett. Dane Arnett is a lineman who is part of the GLIAC. I'm trying to think.
Is
Oh,
that from
Fair
the red?
State.
Oh, Ferris State. Okay.
No, Fair State. This is the lineman for Fair State. So as you see, Coach Rogers is going after these gritty D2 and D3 guys. So I really, really like going after these guys who are really, really hungry and really want to be these type of guys that have success at the uh, Power Four level.
Mm-hmm. 6'5" through a 5, so kind of I think it was like what on the shorter side
Yeah,
of lineman. That'd be nice. That was
yeah.
one of the things too. With like that had an issue at times was Rocco Beck couldn't really see over his line, so who knows?
Yep. And then I'm not gonna lie, this tweet right here, I retweeted this morning. They're like portal opening, low key more lit than free agency, than NFL free agency. I was like, it's so true
Yeah.
because like it's just like they've have something that rivaled NFL free agency,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something that like I never thought that the transfer portal would be, but it's become this huge thing. Um, so yeah, Here's more other player movement. Javen Nicholas from Charlotte. He has a few visits lined up. He has Iowa State, Tulane, Wake Forest, and West Virginia. So This is another guy that Iowa State could possibly look at getting in the portal since they do need help at receiver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, we need help at just about every position. To be
Yep.
frank, every position.
We also
And
have Keon Washington,
see, looks like corner out of defensive back out of
Bowling
Bowling
Green.
Green. Oh right, well so we're really going after the Mac. Uh, more beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean, getting these type of guys, and I think
yeah.
that's what we're that what our niche is going to be.
Man, man, Iowa State's getting real presidential because I mean we already got the presidents in basketball. Now we're getting the first U.S. president and the founding father of the United States in Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Washington and Jefferson.
Oh God. Trying to think who else. Probably finding Adams at some point.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you want um full scoop, William Seals, I've been just looking at the stuff that he's been posting. Apparently, Iowa State is trending with a defensive prospect from Washington State last year, so that is good news for the Clones. And at least on the transfer portal front, that is like all the stuff that I've seen so far.
Mm,
We there obviously we have the movement, but nobody has really signed anything yet. So all of it is just like tongue in cheek, basically.
yeah. And obviously for the guys who are leaving Iowa State, I mean, no shocker. I saw this like Pete Thamel tweet this at like what was it, 11 o'clock or something. Like, oh, Rocco Beck planning to visit to Penn State, and then the Iowa State fans are like, you don't say.
Yeah, he did, and then Ben Bramer's
Rumor.
over there. It's basically like everybody is going to go over there. I
Yeah.
know Tez is getting very very good looks. I know I saw Florida is one of them, and then he actually he has a visit to Notre Dame lined up. I'm like, ooh, Notre Dame. I'm like, hmm.
Hmm. And then
So
yeah, he also has an off. I think like a visit planned for Southern California. So
right.
talk about going coast to coast for John Tess Williams. And I mean, yeah, he was going to be one of those highly touted DBs because I mean, he did so much Iowa State. So I'm not surprised that like these like big, these recognized names. And then I mean, I saw like you were talking about like how cool it'd be for John Tess to be at Florida. So kind of
Hmm.
like I don't know, yeah, like a good like insight like how John Tess would fit into the Florida scheme.
I just think that with John Tessa's play style, I think he'll be able to fit into any scheme. Also, like he doesn't live, his hometown is not far from UF's campus. So he actually the hometown that where he's from, not too far from where my grandparents used to live. So um, I always remember I was when I talked to his parents the few times that I met them, that I'm like, oh, I was like, my grandparents live right next to there, so it was pretty cool. Portal, obviously, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away, so it is going to be interesting. Probably the next 2 weeks, we probably won't get anything tonight, but we will be sure to have it for you if things do happen. And I at least on my page and on the Bleav in Iowa State page, I'll be retweeting uh, different commit or not commitments, different guys that are interested in Iowa State, just
Mm-hmm.
to keep up with the transfer portal.
Yeah, and then you talk about a couple other pieces that are said. I mean, four-star linebacker out of Gilbert High School, Will Hawthorne is getting interest from Nebraska. So, and then Abu Sama is set to visit Wisconsin on the 4th.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's good for him.
Yeah, so I mean, but I think for that, Abu Sama would definitely be like he would probably be like the best player on Wisconsin.
He would. I just hopefully they go back to the ground and pound that they used to, and not the air raid. Why they? I don't know. To to this day, I still don't understand why they changed their offense from a run-heavy offense to air raid, which is completely idiotic at a place like Wisconsin where you guys have big linemen. I was like, this makes no sense. But
Yeah, and then talk about the news about Rocco, um, being like planning a visit to Penn State. I mean, quarterback room. I mean, Grunkemeyer and the Smollett kid, both quarterbacks are in the portal. So who knows? I don't know if Iowa State will want to try to land one of those two, especially Smollett, considering Jackson Smollett is a Van Meter product. So who knows? Maybe they could try to get Smollett back into the state of Iowa and not be too far from his hometown.
well, apparently, there was smoke that Alex Mansky is also going to Penn State. So I that was a rumor that I saw. I don't know if that's true or if it was confirmed,
I
but
mean,
that's something I saw. Obviously, you can't believe everything that you see, but I
I
was
mean,
like,
with
huh.
with the way um, both Grunkemeyer and Smollett left, both quarterbacks, you could probably put the puzzle pieces together that back like Campbell is kind of cleaning house and bringing in his guys in some way, shape.
Right. Yeah, I
Boy, boy, did the Grunkemeyer news divide Penn State fans. It's like, really, Campbell? Why are you letting this guy walk in? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get
I mean,
Rocco, you could probably see the writing on the wall for Grunkemeyer. So, but hey,
y'all are getting all those players, man. Y'all are going to be the Penn State Cyclones.
dude, I saw the edits of like the black uniforms, and I saw somebody have it with like the blue stripe on the helmet and the blue numbers, and I'm like, come on, if you're gonna do black uniforms under the Matt Campbell regime, they have to be black and white strictly. There was too much blue on it. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's like that's
uh,
not even a Penn State fan doing it. I think it was another fan that, like, I think it was an Iowa fan or something. He was like, yeah,
of
the
course, it was an Iowa
get ready
fan.
get. I'm like, come on, if you're gonna troll like that, you gotta do it correctly. Like, what? That's too much blue. You can't even get that
Exactly.
right.
Kenny Hayden and MF, bro.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. We just wanted to come on, talk about the recap of the playoff and some movement in the transfer portal. We will make sure to get back to you if we do have any more news. And first of all, a big thank you to FanDuel. If you know ball, go and make money with the NFL playoffs starting, NBA. We have baseball, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure if you know ball, go and make money with FanDuel. You can find me on Twitter at SciTi You can find Cody on Twitter at Tierney'sBurner. Um, and we also have 6 forms of social media. We have Twitch, and then after that we have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and uh, I'm forgetting one.
Did you do Twitch?
Oh yeah, no, yes, I did Twitch.
Okay. Think what, Instagram?
Oh, YouTube.
Oh,
That's
YouTube.
what it
Yep.
is. Yes, check out the YouTube page. We have tons of content on there. Make sure to go check it out and subscribe. And that's been blown up. I think we've had like 13 new subscribers in the last 2 weeks,
Mm.
so it's been great. But yeah, guys, make sure to go and check out the YouTube channel. And that is your show today. So for Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Van,
this is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll close, baby.
go Cyclones.
1 second.